So, up against Leia's. For the most part, I got lucky on this one, but for the most part, Leia's gonna go first before your Palpatine. So you'll slap the armor tech one on Palpatine, or Sith Eternal, the one that cleanses debuffs and gives him protection recovery. Generally, Leia will go first here, and so Drogon will be under stealth. So what you'll do is you'll link up Leia Organa and Rex. But in this case, I get lucky, and so I get to link up Rex and Captain Drogon. Leia's gonna drop the logs, and there he goes. So then once it's Armor's turn, you're gonna just want to apply Armor Shred on Leia, and then Thrawn's gonna go immediately after and pass the turn over, and then you're gonna just slap the armor on Sith Eternal, and after that it's pretty much game over. Like, Leia's not gonna get much done there. It's a bit of a race against the clock because you can't reduce your cooldowns, but otherwise for the most part you're fine. So my armor is rocking 352 speed if I'm not mistaken, because my Grand 352, and my Grand Admiral Thrawn has 331, but then he gets 20 from Sith Eternal lead, so he's sitting there right behind her. So there's like a 1 speed difference to make sure that you can get that armor instantly on Sith Eternal. The one trick is you do want to be careful in case Leia applies trap like she does there, but fortunately if you have a fast enough Sith Eternal, they won't be able to get stuff done, so you'll be able to just delete some people and you'll be fine. And then from there, it's just basically you're going to be targeting down Leia, basic her to death, because she's going to make it so that your life is a fun time if you don't get her down. You want to link her up as well. Generally, I'll link her up with R2, just because those two are annoying. They've got a lot of protection, and we'll slowly start chipping that away here. Unfortunately, you can't reduce your cooldowns, so use Link as often as possible because that'll count as 2 turns and it'll get you back to your ultimate faster. But for the most part, just keep basicking at Leia because you should hopefully be able to kill her before you even get to your second ultimate. And so that's basically what you'll do here for the first part. The rest of the battle is pretty simple. Alright, so for Jedi Master Kenobi battles, you'll want to make sure that your armor is at least 3rd fastest. I'm saying Jedi Master Kenobi, and then Ahsoka Tano, and then your armor. So you're going to, instead of slapping the Chewie Bob Tank Tech one, you'll want to put the Med Pack one, because the Tank Tech's not going to really help you here unless there's someone with ability block, in which case you will want to put the Tank Tech on. Otherwise, it's no problem. Same thing, armor is going to go slap Armor Shred on General Kenobi, and then you're just going to pass the turn over to her. At that point, you're just basically saying, all right, everybody die off. So I gave that over to Thrawn to hopefully make him survive longer. Unfortunately, he got healing immunity on him, so we're not going to get so lucky. I personally always link up General Kenobi and Cat, because I don't, worst case scenario, I want to make it an easy cleanup if Sith Eternal can't take it all the way. But if you're able to get that armor on him, he will 90% of the time. So from here, you're just going to wait until you get your ultimate, pop it, and then you're going to link up Kenobi and Snips. And then once that's done, it's basically game over for them. You'll be all set thereafter. So as you see, nice and easy. We're going to want to reduce Kenobi's protection, so we'll link him up. The one annoying thing about this battle is if they do have a Padme, she's going to be constantly grinding protection up, and you can't apply debuffs when a Galactic Republic ally has protection up, which makes it really hard to put shock on Jedi Master Kenobi. So he's going to keep recovering health when normally he wouldn't. But yeah, that's the one downside. In Jedi Master Kenobi battles, you'll want to make sure you save your link for after he applies healing immunity, so you can quickly get back to having recovering health and protection, which is why I have the med pack on, because every time he takes a turn or Galactic Republic enemy takes a turn, he's going to be recovering health, which is the idea of using that instead of the tank tech. But like I said, if there's some with an ability block, you're going to want to use tank tech instead, because otherwise you're not going to be able to link as often, you're not going to be able to use his big ult. So it kind of depends on the situation, but for the most part, med pack, if there's someone with ability block like Mace Windu, then you're going to want the tank tech. But yeah, that's this battle, and then we'll just keep on going. As you see there, bye-bye Kenobi, and Padme's going to follow here shortly. So for Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, it's basically going to be the same thing. If he's faster than your Sith Eternal, you want to have a Pre-Taunt. Otherwise, you can get away with just having a normal tank in there. It doesn't have to be a Pre-Taunt. Unfortunately, you'll see here, this Kylo has the Datacron, which allows him every time an unaligned Force user kills off an enemy, they get to take a bonus turn. If I had known that, I probably wouldn't have tried this trick. But fortunately, they're hard programmed to go after Thrawn. They hate Grand Admiral Thrawn with a passion. And so Armor's Unique was able to trigger, and we were able to get the 3 stacks. Normally, if they don't have that Datacron, you'll be fine, because Kylo will poke your Pre-Taunt or your normal tank, and then you're able to just do your normal shenanigans. Here, I made the mistake. If they do have that Datacron, you should link up Kylo, because my ultimate was very, very, very slow. But with that also comes the caveat. Fortunately, because they were so slow, Sith Eternal is going to have a lot of time to ramp up, and that's good. You'll see here once the battle's over, he ramps up his damage quite a bit, because it took him a very long time to get to his ultimate. But because he's got the tank tech and the armor, he's going to survive this battle all the way to the finish line. You can get away with just having 2 stacks, but it's a risky business, especially if their Kylo's got a lot of offense. So I'd always recommend trying to get at least 3 stacks, and just make your life a whole lot easier. So I was checking here to see how I could continue ramping, because I know there is a way, and I believe it's on his basic. Every time you hit damages someone with Deceive, he gets a little bit of extra mastery, basically. But in a second, we will chain lightning, and everybody's going to go bye-bye. Alright, so up against Rey, you already know the drill. Just make sure your armor's fast. She basically should follow Ben, worst case scenario. Mine is super fast, so she always outruns Ben for the most part. However, you can't get away with just using a Wat Tambor. If you slap the tank tech on Wat Tambor, you can generally get away with it, as long as you got some Sith characters in there, or some just dark side characters to help soak up some damage. I generally, you can kind of get away with Wat Tambor. I'll use Royal Guard and Gamorrean Guard, 2 leftover tanks, and then some Sith, just like Dooku, or what's his name, or Darth Sidious, just sitting in there. Because once you get the tank tech on, you're generally good. If you want to be safe, definitely bring in armor and just keep doing this trick. The one thing is, you won't be able to insta-kill them right off the bat. You'll want to try to get Rey into the yellow before you get ult. I just was noticing we weren't getting anywhere, and so you'll see I'll prematurely use the ultimate to get them all in the yellow/red, and that actually kind of is helpful, because then they all get to go, and I am able to charge up a second ultimate really quickly. here I gave Thrawn armor. You should generally be able to get 2 Beskar armors off, full stacks, but Rey had so much damage that it was bye-bye for my team. But Sith Eternal Emperor, he just needs them as pawns. Once he gets his Beskar armor and his tank tech, it's game over for anybody who dares face him. And so you'll see here, I noticed real quick that we're not getting much progress. I just pop it and everyone's now in yellow. I make sure to apply shock so they can't heal back up. So on Rey, and after that, it's going to be real easy. Everybody's basicking, and every time he damages someone with Deceived, he gets to reduce his cooldowns by 1 of his ultimate. So bye-bye, everybody's gone once again, and it's game over from here. Alright, for Jedi Master Luke, I just kept the same team, but you don't need it. All you need is Sith Eternal and Wat Tambor. As you're going to see, the rest of these guys are literally going to die off. All you're going to need is Sith Eternal, Wat Tambor. Wat's going to apply the tank tech to Sith Eternal, and then it's game over from there. I brought the team in just because I didn't want to change it and get knocked down too much in Arena, because just having Wat and Sith Eternal, it's basically a hey, come please run me over in Arena. But in Grand Arena and Territory Wars and everything, it's fine. It'll work just fine. As you can see, the Jedi will just run circles around you, but because Sith Eternal has such a hatred for Jedi, and fortunately these guys don't have anything against Sith, you're going to quickly get to your ultimate, and then it's an easy match after that, after you get the tank tech on Sith Eternal. This also works up against gas. If you're going up against a General Anakin Skywalker team, same thing, slap tank tech on Sith Eternal. You only need Sith Eternal and Wat Tambor. Heck, against most gas teams, you don't even need Wat Tambor. Just take in Sith Eternal, link up and gas, link up Rex or Fives, whoever's going to be going next, and within 2 turns, gas is sitting down for the rest of the match. So up against Jedi Master Luke and gas, you really can get away with just using your Sith Eternal. It's really easy. That's why personally I'll use Darth Revan lead with Malik and the Sith Empire squad up against Jedi Master Luke, because it's really easy with Sith Eternal. But yeah, there you have it. Hopefully that helps with using Sith Eternal. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Up against Jabba and Lord Vader, you generally can at least kill off the entire team, but Jabba and Lord Vader will stay standing, so then you don't have to bring up a cleanup team. Sith Eternal generally can't push through Lord Vader, 1v1 with Lord Vader or 1v1 with Jabba. It's just unfortunate. Sometimes you can get away with it with Jabba, but with Lord Vader, almost never. And up against Galactic Legend and Ahsoka Tano, I haven't seen any yet, so I don't have any experience up against her at all. But yeah, that's all the Galactic Legends. And then up against everyone else, he's just a menace, so you're generally be fine using him on offense. I will say, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And yeah, hopefully that helps. Generally, you can get away with just that team that I showed. If your Sith Eternal is faster than any of the Galactic Legends, enemy Galactic Legends, you can get away with using any old tank. It doesn't have to be a pre-taunt. But for the most part, he is one of the slower Galactic Legends, so everyone else is going to go faster than him and go first. So you'll want a pre-taunt just to kind of help absorb a little bit of that initial damage and give you time so that then your armor can go, and then your Thrawn to just fall right up afterwards. You can also use First Order Officer as long as the team doesn't prevent turn meter gain, like with Jedi Master Kenobi. First Order Officer isn't going to work in that lineup, but Thrawn always will. Thrawn's your go-to guy.